Big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. If you're looking to improve your portrait skills, then stay tuned as I'll be sharing with you 5 more portrait hacks that you'll wish you knew sooner. This is the second video in a series where we dive deep into all the things that I've seen people overlook when it comes to taking a great portrait, and of course, some ways that you can overcome them. I've got a lot to cover, so without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to my channel. My name is Miguel Quiles. I've been working as a professional portrait photographer for the last 8 years, photographing thousands of people at this point, and I've dedicated myself to helping people like you improve their photography. If you want to learn techniques to take your work to another level, then be sure to subscribe as I'm releasing new videos here every week. Let's jump right into my first portrait hack, one that is so simple but extremely powerful once you do it, and that's shooting in continuous drive mode. Your camera has the ability to shoot in a variety of different drive modes, and the one that I see most portrait photographers using is the single shot mode. It usually works well enough that people shoot with this setting by default, but you're likely missing out on getting better portraits because of it. Many times when I take a portrait in single shot mode, I'll be looking through my viewfinder, I'll see the perfect shot, and by the time I press the shutter, they blink and poof, a great shot ruined thanks to poor timing. Switching your camera to continuous drive mode will allow you to capture all of the micro transitions and movements that a person might be making while you're photographing them, allowing you the chance to pick the perfect shot once you get to your computer. To give you an example of how clutch this simple change can be, let me take you back to this photo shoot that I did a while back with Kat. I was using the Sony a7 III, which allows me to shoot at up to 10 frames per second and capture up to 89 images in a row before slowing down. The idea for this shoot was to get this dripping gold shot. The challenging thing here is timing it to where her expression was perfect and the right amount of liquid would be on her face. As you might imagine, this can be extremely difficult. Rather than trying to time it using a single shot, I set the camera to continuous drive mode, told my makeup artist Agnes to get ready to pour the liquid, and off we went. I shot 37 images in a quick burst, and out of all of those shots, only one stood out as the perfect shot that eventually ended up getting published in a magazine. I use this simple hack in almost every portrait shoot, and I recommend you try it as well. The second hack that will give you better portraits is all about how you act during a photo shoot, and specifically developing your poker face. I was guilty of having a terrible poker face when I started my career, and it showed in my work. I would be stressing out, worrying about where I was going to shoot, what my settings needed to be, all the things that photographers think about during and before and after a shoot. I never thought people were paying attention up until one day I was doing a portrait shoot, and after taking my first test snap, I played back the image to review it, and I did something like this. Now, as photographers, you probably know what was going through my mind. I was thinking about the lighting, my camera settings, did I choose the right lens, all of the technical things that go into making a good shot. My face, on the other hand, was probably communicating something very different. The person you're photographing is likely having an internal dialogue that says things to them like, "Oh man, he probably doesn't like how I'm coming out in these shots," or "I probably should have rescheduled. I barely slept last night." That voice is going to wreck your chances of taking a great portrait, so be aware of how you look, how you act, and move decisively throughout your portrait session. Before we continue with what might be my favorite portrait hack ever, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. If you're watching this video, chances are you want to get better at all aspects of photography, and that's why you should check out the massive library of lessons that Skillshare offers. With over 25,000 classes from some of the best creators out there, you'll learn things in areas of photography, post-production, videography, business, and so much more. For less than $10 a month, you'll have access to their entire library of content. One that I've been enjoying is the Instagram-worthy photography lesson from Brandon Wolfel. but there are plenty of others that will educate and inspire you. Best part is that if you sign up using the link in the description of this video, you'll get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. Join me and over 7 million other creators who are learning new things every day with Skillshare. Let's jump right into the third hack on this list, which I call the eye chart technique. It's the remedy for a common issue that I see all the time where the person you're photographing is suffering from what I call dith. You've probably seen or taken a lot of photos that suffer from this common affliction. Dith stands for deer in the headlights. It's where your portrait subject, wanting to maybe show you how beautiful their eyes are, take it upon themselves to do this. The easiest way to fix this is using the eye chart technique. I instruct the person that I'm photographing to pretend like they're looking at the eye chart at a doctor's office. As a person is looking at the smaller letters on the screen, they will usually close their eyes down to help them focus better. I let them know that anytime I say go down a line, that I'm wanting them to slowly close their gaze on whatever it is that they're looking at. If they close down too much, I tell them to go up a line, and so on and so forth. Using this method, we were able to go from this portrait to this. I'm sure you'll agree that the shot on the right looks far more engaging and pleasant. Using this technique has allowed me to capture some of my favorite portraits, and I'm sure it'll help you as well. At number 4 on my list of portrait hacks that really help me accelerate my learning and get better portraits is tethering. If you're not familiar with the idea, tethering is where you connect your camera to your portable laptop or your tablet, either via USB or wireless connection. This allows you to review the images you're taking on a big screen and gives you valuable insights into how your images are turning out. Most portrait photographers today are relying far too heavily on their small camera screens to make decisions about their work, oftentimes missing those little details that are ruining their portraits. Tethering allows you a much larger screen to review your photos, and if you're using a laptop and tethering to a program like Lightroom or Capture One, you could even make adjustments and automatically apply presets to ensure your photos are turning out exactly the way you want them to be. You could also show the images that you're taking with the people that you're photographing and give them valuable insights into what they're doing well and maybe what changes that they need to make to take better portraits right there on the spot. Another portrait hack that I use in almost every portrait session is getting them to play a character. I shared this technique in an older video that I'll link in the card above. One of the easiest ways that I've found to get people to look great in a portrait is to get them to play a character. Sometimes that means getting them to play a character that they're familiar with from a movie or a TV show, and oftentimes it comes from making up hypothetical situations where they will act things out. To demonstrate the results of this, let's take a look at a few images. Here I asked my subject to pretend as if she was a powerful warrior queen who has decimated her enemies and is watching their city burn to the ground. It's kind of dark, I know, but she bought into the character and gave some amazing looks that we probably wouldn't have captured without this story. In this example that I photographed for a live audience at Photo Plus last year, I brought this man on stage out of the crowd and asked him to play a character, which was a character of a detective. He just received a new case and I asked him to say, with only his eyes, that he was gonna catch the bad guys. Even with hundreds of people watching him take this impromptu portrait, he was able to dial it in and give an amazing expression. My Instagram feed is filled with images where I use this technique, so if you want to see more real-world examples of the types of portraits that I've captured doing this, be sure to check out my Instagram. Also, while you're here, make sure you subscribe to my channel as I'm releasing new videos here every single week. All right, quick question for you all who made it to the end of this video. Which portrait tip was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you're a portrait photographer and are on Instagram, I would love to see your work. Leave a link to your Instagram page in the comment section below, and I may feature your work in an upcoming video. Now, if you want to learn more about taking better portraits, click on the video here to watch part 1 of this series, as well as the playlist on the right that has a ton of helpful videos that will definitely help you improve your photography. See you next time.